Okay, they want me to find the limit as h approaches 0. But since there is only an h in the denominator, you can't just plug in the 0 because then it would be over 0. And you can't divide by 0. That's undefined. So you actually have to use the same skill that you use for rationalizing denominators. Rationalizing a denominator is getting rid of the square root in the denominator. And what we're going to do here is rationalize the numerator so that we'll get something more than just the h in the denominator. And so the way you do that is you multiply the numerator by its conjugate. So instead of the square root of 7 minus h minus the square root of 7, we're going to multiply it times the square root of 7 minus h plus the square root of 7. But you're in fraction land, so if you multiply something onto the numerator, you have to do the exact same multiplication to the denominator. Okay, we're going to have to actually FOIL out the numerator. So I'm going to start by taking the square root of 7 minus h times the square root of 7 minus h. That would be first times first. And that is going to equal your first term in your answer. Well, when you take the square root of a 7 minus h times another square root of 7 minus h, that's the same thing as the square root of 7 minus h squared. And the squared and the square root cancel each other out, and you're just left with 7 minus h. Okay? Then you're going to take the, we're going to do the outsides, so I would have to take this times that, which would be, if I multiply those together, I'll just come down here and show you what it is. That would be the square root of 7 minus h times the square root of 7. But because this is a positive here, that's a positive. And then you have to go and do your insides. But this one would be a negative square root of 7 minus h times the square root of 7. And I don't even actually multiply them together. If I have a positive of that mess and a negative of that mess, those two messes cancel out. And so you don't have the middle term at all. And then the last thing I do is take last times last. So I'm going to take a negative square root of 7 times a positive square root of 7. And that's going to give me this right here. It's a negative times a positive, so it is a negative. And just like up here, if you take the square root of 7 times another square root of 7, that is the square root of 7 squared. So that's just 7. And then I'm going to leave the denominator as h times the square root of 7 minus h plus the square root of 7. Do not distribute, and you'll see why in a second here. Okay, so keep going. In the numerator, I can now see that this 7 and this minus 7 cancel each other out, leaving me with just a negative h in the numerator. And what's about to happen is that h in the numerator is going to cancel out with the factored out h in the denominator. And so that's going to leave me with, move over here, negative 1 over the square root of a 7 minus h plus the square root of a 7. And now it is at this point that I can find the limit as h approaches 0, and I'll put the 0 right here. So this becomes 7 minus 0, which is just 7. So what I have is negative 1 over the square root of 7 plus the square root of 7, which that would be 2 square roots of 7. And you can type it in like that. My math lab, wow. Mobius will take that, but I tend to like to rationalize my denominator, so I multiplied top and bottom, wow, times the square root of 7. How did that get so big? I don't remember doing that. Okay, let me erase that. Ha! If you want to rationalize this, you multiply top and bottom by the square root of 7. Now the damn thing's too small. Oh, Lord. So that's going to give me negative square root of 7 over this square root of 7 times that square root of 7 is just a 7. And 2 times 7 is 14. So I could type in two answers, either negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 7 or negative the square root of 7 over 14, which is rationalized. I had typed it in originally this way. It took it. I just thought, what the hell? I'll type the other one in also. It does give me the equation editor, which I like to use, and I would type in a fraction, and then it's a negative, and then I need my square root sign of 7 all over 14. And how did I do? And it liked it. Although I'm looking at their answer, see, they left it as negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 7. So you don't have to rationalize it apparently as a final answer. Although in most math circles, leaving a radical in the denominator is, you know, it's like a math faux pas. You're really not supposed to do it. It's kind of like wearing white after Labor Day. Don't do it. Although I do. So there you go.